Hello, and welcome to Not Guitar Beginner 101. This is week 1. Let's get started. So first what we'll do is we'll turn to page 1, and you'll see that we have the mission statement of Ignite Guitar. The mission statement is to train guitarists who propel others to worship God through their music. So with that, there's two main points that I want to emphasize. Is that, first of all, God has created music to glorify Himself. With that, we also want to consider that music is an art form, and the art form is meant to bring recognition to Him and also use that to serve others. There's a concept of self-serving music, and there's a concept of serving something outside, bigger than yourself. All right, so the goals for week 101, if you look at your page, it says, at the beginning of Beginner 101 guitar class, you will, first of all, have the coordination, muscle memory, and the hand strength to play common chords, strumming patterns, and songs. And the second goal is to understand a foundation of music and guitar from which to build on. So with that in mind, we'll start with page 2 and get right into it with the parts of the guitar. So the first page we have to look at, which is page 2, which is the parts of the guitar. The first part is the head. If you want to think of it like a human body, you have the head, the neck, and the body. That's the way we look at it with the guitar too. We have the head of the guitar, which is number 1. And you can write these along as I'm explaining them in your book on page 2. So we have the first one is the head. Then number 2 is the neck. And we'll actually pick up the guitar so you can see this. So you have the head at the top, which is right here, the neck, and we have the body. So the 3 is body. So again, head is this part up to the nut. This is called the nut right here. But we have the head, the neck, and the body of the guitar. So that's the first 3 things. Then on the number 4, we have tuning pegs or tuning keys. So these are these pieces here. And what you would do with these is you basically, once you string the guitar, you'll use the tuning pegs to ring them up higher or lower based on where we want the notes to be on the guitar. Okay, so those are the tuning pegs or tuning keys. Then we have the nut of the guitar, which is this white piece right here. And then from the nut, that's number 5. Number 6 is the frets. And the frets are the spaces in between these bars, these metal bars. The bars are actually called fret bars, and that's the next thing you're going to write on your page is number 7, the fret bars. So we have 6 is the frets, and then fret bars are in between. So if we're looking at the first fret's going to be the first one past the nut. So here's the nut, and here's the first fret. Then once we pass the first fret bar, we're on the second fret. So that's how we'll count. And you can see that you have dots. Sometimes you have dots on the top of your guitar, and I have dots here at the 3rd fret, 5th, 7, 9, and 12. Sometimes you'll have 2 dots on the 12th fret, and that's basically suggesting so that you can keep your place whenever you're playing different spots on the guitar. You'll know which fret you're on. The 12th fret is an octave, so if I was actually to play the open string on the open E and play the string on the 12th fret, it's going to be an octave higher. It's the same note, just an octave higher. So here's the open E and the octave higher E. And it's the same way with each string. If you play all 6 strings, when you play them all 6, you can hear it's the same note, it's just an octave higher. So that's the point of the dots on the top of your guitar. If you don't have dots, it's not a problem. Don't worry, it's okay. It's just there. Sometimes the guitars will have them on it for you. Okay, so then you have frets and fret bars. Then we're down here to the guitar part, and we have number 8, which is a pick guard. Now on this guitar, you don't see a pick guard. It's becoming more of a modern thing to not have pick guards on your guitar. Let me show you one that does have a pick guard. Here is a more of a beginner basic guitar, and what we have is we have a little pick guard here. It's not as visible, but it's black and black. But basically what it does, it's a little plastic piece on top of the wood. The plastic piece covers the guitar, so when you strum, if I'm strumming a chord, I pick on the pick guard, and it just basically doesn't leave a scratch. So it saves the guitar, saves the wood from any scratches. Now, like I said, it's kind of a more common thing now to see one without a pick guard, and that's just for a style that they've decided to offer. I guess they think it looks a little bit better, I don't know. But ultimately, either way, You don't have to have a pick guard. It comes with some guitars and others it doesn't. Okay, so there's the pick guard is number 8. Number 9 is the sound hole. And what that basically is this is where the sound goes into the guitar. Now, when you're playing the guitar, if I'm playing a chord, you can hear the sound is coming out of the guitar as well, right? So the idea with this is actually that the strings are vibrating, going into the sound hole and coming back out of the guitar. Now, it comes out of the front of the guitar just as much as it does out of the back, which is something you might not have understood or ever heard, but it's basically, you think the sound hole is where the music comes out as well, but it also comes out the front and the back just as much. It's basically vibrating through the wood cells. So on this guitar, what makes guitars a little bit different in the way they sound are the cells of wood that the music, the vibration of the strings makes noise, and it goes into the cells of the guitar and vibrates in those cells of the guitar. And that's what creates a little bit of a variety with each guitar. That's why people can spend $2,000 on a guitar and they can spend $300 on a guitar, is the craftsmanship of the guitar, what kind of wood they use, and also, of course, the ease of playing. That's another aspect that makes the guitar different. And as you get better, you'll start to hear the differences in the different sounding wood. And it's just basically you just train your ear eventually to hear the differences. I remember at first when I picked up one guitar, it didn't sound much different than the other guitar, and but you will begin to hear the difference as you play the different guitars. Okay, so you have the sound hole, which is this piece right here, number 9. It's the space. So we have number 10, which is the saddle, and this is a little bit more of an ornate saddle. You also have a bridge that's on the saddle. So the bridge is where the strings come over and go into the saddle, and that's where you will put your strings when you tune them. Okay. So you have the saddle again, and then you have the bridge, and the saddle is just the wood piece that holds the bridge and holds the strings. Then the bridge is what the strings come over. Okay. So that's number 11. So you've finished your understanding of what is on the guitar. And now we're going to move to the next page, which is page 3, and we're going to work on getting our strings in tune.